Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Ding dong. Welcome to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach,
And I'm Pepper.
and today we're doing another round of Take My Money where we look at some current crowdfunding projects. All of these just happen to be Kickstarter ones. I would say this is kind of a week of maybe a little bit of weaker picks, maybe, at least for us.
Yeah, for
Um,
what we are interested in, I don't think these are quite up our alley.
mhm,
Uh, but there are a few projects that are doing really well, and we
mhm.
thought we'd cover them still. So it's not
Yeah,
all about us and what we like. We
that is
try to cover
true.
all the games, although we don't cover nearly all the games.
Not nearly all of them, but yeah, I think maybe due to Gen Con, maybe there might not be as many big named ones going on right now is my thought, maybe possibly. But yeah, so we are filming this early, so uh, especially some of these first ones may be very close to done, if not already done.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know
you
if I
should be able to. I assume
should
I
be
haven't
able to look
checked if
back
they will
and
have
so
late pledge, but most do. I haven't really heard of many that don't, so I would think that you should be able to find a late pledge of some sort, or maybe go to the game steward. Maybe they'll have something and get your Kickstarter games there. But we thought we'd
there you
cover
go.
it anyway.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. But yeah, we have to do it a little bit early because I am going to Gen Con, so
Well,
we'll probably make some videos
we
on that. So if there's
on
anything
his
you're excited about Gen Con, let me know in the comments below and I'll try to see what I can do, see if I can cover it at all. But
yeah, you'll be on your way in like 24 hours with him.
that is true. We'll be probably stopping about halfway on the trip down there. We're driving, so hopefully all goes well. But yeah, let's get into Ding Dong.
Hello.
Which is actually this is one of them that I'm like it's actually doing pretty well for what the game is. I
Yeah.
mean, 40,000 on a $3,000 goal and 1,300 almost 1,400 backers. I mean, I think that's pretty good for what this game appears to be. It is a Halloween themed game, so I feel like anytime you have a game kind of based on a holiday, that's kind of a little bit of a hard sell outside of maybe around that specific holiday.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was wondering why they were releasing this now and not a little later. But I was wondering if maybe it would deliver
I think it's
early
supposed
here.
to
And
deliver
it's here, yeah,
around
deliver
Halloween this year.
October
So,
2023. So, yeah, very quick delivery.
mhm.
So, I guess I don't know what is this company here. That is, I have a terrible time operating the double scroll in here. The Gamer Spark first created, so I don't know much about them or who's behind that, but uh, pretty ambitious. Did you know anything additionally that would Shem Phillips involved in any way to guarantee that this
To
will
guarantee
deliver
that, I
on
guess
time?
I do not know, but yeah, maybe, and maybe the more successful they are, the harder it's probably going to be to reach that because obviously you're going to need more copies of the game if you have more people backing it. Um, so yeah, if it was a smaller print run, I think it's a little more doable. But and maybe I'm assuming that means this game is set in stone, I would think, so that they can pretty much press print um, almost immediately after it's done, or very
Yeah,
close
yeah.
after, so that it can and get things. Or I guess I don't know if maybe it's being made in America. I'm not sure.
Oh,
Um,
maybe.
but otherwise, yeah, I think shipping usually probably still takes like 2 months. So that's not giving much extra time for anything else. So
No,
hopefully,
no, not really. Uh,
but
but yeah, just when I saw the numbers that it had and the theme, I actually got pretty excited. I just the trick or treating theme.
mhm,
Obviously, we don't have any games with that theme. It's a very
true.
unique one, and I thought that that could be really cool. But then as I saw how this is played, it was just a little too simple um,
Mm,
for me. I would like a little bit more, maybe even like a town board that you could move things around. This is just what comes to mind when I think of maybe a trick or treating game and maybe trying to get the kids not to trick you and maybe bribe them with some treats. And I think there's some set collection in here, so there's some interesting things that I like, but um,
mhm.
just too light for initially getting me quite interested in the game.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's just a bit light for me as well. But yeah, I like the look of the artwork. I like the look of the candies.
Yeah,
And I like the idea of it, going around and having to give them candy and stuff to kind of stop them from. I like that idea, but um, yeah, I need. I'm blanking on his name. On Mars, what's his name? Designer.
Vital,
Mattel
Lacerda.
Lacerda to do a trick or treat game. That would probably be too heavy. I'd probably prefer this over that, I would think. But somewhere in between there would be probably the perfect trick or treating Halloween game for me. But yeah, it looks interesting. Definitely, if you are
Yeah,
looking for more of a family weight game, I think this could definitely bring out kind of that Halloween feel and be very approachable.
yeah, yeah. And I think it says like 5 minutes per player. I think that one was said for this one.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you don't want anything too long, don't want a Lacerda game on Mars for 4 hours, should be good. But I do wish. Now I'm excited and I am looking forward for possibly a trick or treating game. But yeah, this will be
From
21
Mattel.
bucks from the base game, 21 bucks. So not too bad. There's a lot of really nice artwork and components, some screen printed wooden pieces. Always love that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Scary Deluxe is $29 there. So that is the board game and the expansion, which adds additional houses and characters, I believe. But yeah, so that is not sure shipping
Yeah,
on
that
this.
price isn't too bad.
$8 USA. So
Yeah,
pretty good.
overall, it's not too bad of a price,
Yeah.
I would say. But yeah, I would just note that if you're hoping, oh, I'm gonna have my Halloween game by Halloween, because
Yeah.
it's a first time person on there, I think, unless I guess I don't know if they've done anything in the industry before, maybe have some knowledge of it that could help. But that is a very quick turnaround, it seems like. But not saying they can't do it, just something to note if you don't tend to use Kickstarter, because I feel like there's definitely some that we know have had experience in the Kickstarter realm and have taken much, much longer than they're expected. And their
Yeah.
expected wasn't like 4 months. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
that's for sure. And then on to Luddite. Luddite.
That's
I'm not
how I
sure.
was thinking.
Probably half of the games that we cover, I don't know how to pronounce. Uh, this is a roll and write campaign game with a fully integrated graphic novel. So that just immediately feels innovative from that.
Mhm.
Just throwing all those different things together. Maybe it's not, who knows? But 32,000, almost $33,000 of a 14,000 goal and over 1,000 backers. So this is another one that is going to be about ending by the time this is posted. So go check it out. And if there's time left and you're interested, drop a back for them, or I'm sure there will be a late pledge, like we said. I think there's a few more like that. Not going to go into that little spiel every time. But yeah, so this is kind of AI has taken over, I think is the theme here. And there are some AI robots, dog type robots that you're trying to hack into, I believe, and deal damage to them through your roll and write ways. And it's just weird because it also has the graphic novel, and I think you can kind of check out the first few pages of the graphic novel. I think they have them here and kind of feature it in the video. So if you want a look at that, I'm sure we'll see it as we go by. But like as what point you are in the novel, it kind of tells you what map to use for that. So roll and writes don't seem overly thematic. So I am
Mhm.
really interested to see if this feels like where you are in the story. If whatever you just read and you go to this map because of that, is that going to
Does
feel
it feel like
any
triangles and octagons, circles?
that going to feel any different? I don't know. This does look cool.
Hmm.
I think this you can gain resources down here on different tracks. That's always like that in roll and ride games. And then you have different switches, locks on different areas. I think numbers here you can fill in to either lock or unlock pathways, and that will open you up to move around here. And over on this area, you fill out attacks or things, and then you go to those attack places on this map by opening those doors, and then you, I guess, do those attacks that you've unlocked and try to deal a bunch of damage. I don't know. It seemed interesting. It really does feel like you're kind of hacking into it. Seemed complicated. I couldn't really understand it completely, but it seemed different than any roll and write that I played.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a little bit of the artwork. I like the artwork. I don't read that many graphic novels, but I think Under Falling Skies, the campaign in there, kind of has a little comic book, little intro to each mission. I really enjoyed that, and this feels a lot like that. I mean, it's kind of a similar theme as well. Yeah, I like that. I'm interested in this. Probably not going to be backing it. Can print and play for about $6. Get the digital version for 11, or the full-on copy for $45. So I mean, I don't know if speed. I guess $45 isn't that bad. It does come with a graphic novel, metal coins, a few of them, dice tray, marker, some pretty big dice, custom insert. That's probably a good price, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst. I guess what is shipping on it?
Shipping would be. Let's see.
Yeah, I would say 45 isn't the worst. May feel a little bit steep, but it's also something a little bit new. I'm not really sure what it costs. Sure, these
We'll get there. We'll get there.
one of these days. One of these days.
$9 for the US. So
Yeah.
another one, pretty cheap. Shipping.
Yeah,
Maybe it's all going down, all those shipping rates.
it might be going down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say it's not too bad of a price. It sounds like an interesting idea, but I don't know. As I was looking at it, I wasn't too pulled in by it. But maybe if it feels like one of those things that if it was in front of me, maybe I'd be a little bit more interested.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
And this one that I just added that you probably had no clue it even existed.
I did not find the fun.
Game design resources. A book, game, and other goodies to help you design great games people love. Actually, I don't think I even looked at this page. I just saw it on the Dice Tower. I did not find this one on my own. I saw them talk about it. I'm like, oh, that's cool. We had covered a book. I forget exactly what that was called. Quite a few episodes back, kind of talking about games and stuff.
Designing.
Game design. And this one, I was like, oh, that was a pretty cool one. So I thought we'd check this one out as well. So I think this is mostly focused on the book. I watched the video and he talked. The game wasn't like a big, grand game. It's just a fun little game to kind of deal with the topic as well. This is Fundamental will walk you step by step through the process of going from idea to published game. So as people who have, I think probably a lot of gamers do have their own a couple ideas, even if it's just a theme of a game that they really want to see made, maybe based on IP that maybe isn't as popular, doesn't have a ton of games like Marvel. I think every gamer has at least one game that they want to make, and I think that it's great to get information out there.
Right.
What Reiner Knizia thinks makes a game fun. I'm sold right there. Rob Davio had such a hard time defining fun.
That could be some interesting stuff.
Jamie Stegmaier, Lee Cock, bunch of great names here. A lot of ones I've heard, some that I haven't heard. And contributors, Garfield, Wallace, Knizia, and a bunch more. Phil Walker Harding, man. Shem Phillips, this will deliver on time. It's confirmed. And Vital Lacerda right there. Oh my
Coming back
goodness.
around. Wow, got a lot of good names on there.
And a pretty great breakdown of the table of contents, chapter one, and then all the little chapters within that chapter, chapter two,
They just
three,
went through and asked every
four,
one of those
five.
designers those questions, and now they just have the answers in this book.
They just prompted him with that. They just told Vital online, and then he replied. That's what the book is. And then the game here, limited edition, fast, plain, simple to learn card game for one player about making a game good enough to pitch to a publisher. Very meta, it sounds. More
It
on
does.
fun, then it offers up a lot of game design nuggets, wisdom during play. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's a neat little project. I like these different ones that aren't. I don't think we have one of those big dungeon crawlers this week. I'm thinking, I don't think we have one. We might. It'll probably come up and surprise me, but just so used to those, it's nice to
That's
see
true. We might
something
not have one.
a little different.
That is true. Yeah, this looks interesting. It feels like one of those things I'd like to back, potentially. It just probably has some good information in it and just a
Yeah,
little bit different, like you said.
yeah. So $10 for the digital, otherwise paperback will be $20. Hardcover will be 28. The game $24. Digital bundle 20. Just a lot of different. Oh my god, so many options. Go look
You
for
can do
yourself. You can
whatever
figure
you
it out.
want. That'll be one of the chapters. How many options to have on a Kickstarter?
And
How many
shipping
is
very.
too many?
That is true. Sometimes it does annoy me, especially when they have all the early birds and they just keep them in there even though they're already gone. I'm like, what the heck is going on? Very cheap shipping as well here.
Hmm.
And to another one, a fourth one that has 3 days to go at the time of this filming. So all of these likely expired with no chance to get them. This is a Converge wallet game series by Peter C. Hayward. And this is from Button Shy, who did Sprawlopolis, one of my, I guess I was going to say one of my favorite games, but I mean, it's probably in my top like 70 somewhere, so I can't really say favorite since we have so many, but I do like it quite a bit. One of my favorite solo games. And that's really cool. And they make these little, just wallet sized games. Like here, usually, I think it's 18 cards in there.
Hmm.
And they usually, I think Sprawlopolis has a few more games in that series, similar system that you can kind of combine together. And I think they talk about it as like a 3-part thing. And I think each one introduces like 3 kind of sets or 3 types of characters. And you can combine those as well, which so in on this, probably why not get all 3 sets? I mean,
Right.
they got them right there. They're releasing them all at the same time. Why not? But yeah, this features multi-use cards, kind of just the card at its rank, or else I think you can discard the card for its effect down at the bottom, or play it into the middle as a goal for you and your opponent. I think it's kind of a dueling game type thing. So yeah, highest archivist. So you put that in the center. Although to do that, you would be sacrificing a 6 level, which I assume is a pretty high archivist. Um, I thought that was pretty interesting. How just the multi-use cards. I always like it whenever it's just very few cards, but so many ways to mix it up and different things to do with them.
Hmm. I agree. Yeah, this looked interesting to me, but yeah, I don't play that many games solo, so um, I think that would be the thing holding me back. But or is
Yeah,
it more than
I think
solo?
this one's do. I think it's 2 players. So I think
Oh,
it's
okay.
kind of dueling each on a side, and then whatever goals you had played in the center, you would kind of judge who
Hmm.
wins based on that. I think it's kind of. I think you have to win this
The
shard.
artifacts or
Yeah,
whatever.
and I think you might have to win it twice or something like that, or 2 times in a row, and it does
Maybe.
come with a solo mode as well.
No, it might have been what. Yeah, I think for some reason I was thinking like all these button chat games were like small solo
Uh,
games for some reason. but yeah, so that makes me a little bit more interested. Because yeah, I really like multi-use cards as well. So yeah, I think these are pretty affordable if you're wanting to get all three.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
even if you wanted to
So,
get just one, but yeah, I don't. I feel like most people probably just gonna get all three if they're gonna get
yeah,
one. So
yeah, I would think so. I mean, it's not too much more. $12 to 29. I guess that's a little bit more, but I mean, it's still not
all that savings of
too high.
$11.
Yeah, all that savings, pretty cheap shipping as well. At least if you're in the U.S. or UK. Yeah,
Mhm.
nice little one. I guess are any of these the game that what Kickstarter was made for? I feel like
Right
almost
here,
all of these could be
right here, this one right here,
wolves.
Wolves. It's got a very um, weird cover
It
in
is
my opinion.
for what it is. It's a weird cover. Like this looks like you're fighting robotic wolves
It
in some
it
sort of
really does.
arena.
It really does. This was another one that surprised me when I saw 86,000 out of a
Oh yeah,
25,000. You got 1,300 backers. Because yeah, it does feel like a I don't know, kind of a smaller niche type game. It just looks like it has that look to it. So I am really surprised at um, how well it's doing.
yeah.
Not to say it
That
doesn't
was a
deserve to do
surprise.
well, but it just kind of surprises me a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And the game is there are no wolves in the game.
Nope.
Uh, it's a semi-cooperative game, 3 to 6 players. Probably eliminates it for us. We have a small group of players. It's about community survival from indigenous creators. So I think this thing is you're gaining resources throughout the game, and you are.
I do like how that picture, it like, I don't know. It feels like if you go up a little bit more,
Oh, this one.
it feels like the feels like a peaceful scene, and then you've got this
You got the
kind of
wolves,
horror looking box.
the
There's
glowing
something
red
about it that
eyes,
just I don't know. There's something
sharp
I don't know
teeth,
what it is.
red
It's like
eyes.
horror or something about it.
Yeah, that really doesn't that does not fit. I feel like they were pitched 2 different games and they kind of mixed up the covers or something like that. I'm sure there's a reason that they have um, for that, but yeah, it is a bit of a disconnect for me personally, for us. But, but yeah, it's an interesting thing, or not theme. It's an interesting game that you're gaining resources, you're sharing a lot of them because if any one of you is not able to survive the winter, then you all lose.
Mhm.
But you also want to be voted kind of the new leader. So I don't know, maybe that means you share the most or different things, different ways to get points pretty much. And to, in the end, win after you have all survived. Which, depending on what your group is, I think there could be times when it's like, I'm not going to win this, so I'm going to die. I'm going to
Right.
try my best in some way having fun in dying.
Yeah. I think it's just a very hard thing to do. Because that's always my thought when there's a semi co-op aspect to it. Um, yeah, if there's anything where it's like, I don't know, someone could try to intentionally lose because they already know they're going to lose,
Yeah,
but lose it for everyone else as well. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
That's
I
just a
could,
hard thing to avoid. That's more probably on the players in the
yeah,
group,
yeah.
but
I guess
at the
they're,
same time, it is. I do understand why they would do it because it is kind of like I don't know. Some people could argue, well, you're kind of still sort of part of the victory, but I
yeah.
would argue, no, you're not really.
I mean, yeah,
But
I get it can be good. You're trying to teach like, hey, it's work together and still be competitive.
no,
But I mean, just for us personally, not really playing really any semi-cooperative games. Most of ours are competitive. It's just not really what we're geared towards.
mhm,
So it just feels different. But yeah, that
mhm,
is $55 for the game, which I feel. I guess it does have. I guess that's Tabletopia or something, but it has bunch of wooden resources, which are nice. And it looked like some
I do like the flat
there.
look of the resources.
Oh yeah.
They just kind of they feel unique comparatively.
Oh yeah.
Because yeah, if those are wooden, they look pretty cool.
Yeah, they
They
are.
don't really make me think of many other games, so they kind of feel unique. I do like those quite a bit, but still not quite enough to bring me in. And yeah, $55 for it. Um, I don't know that that's that high, but it's definitely too high for me. If
Yeah,
I
that's
was interested in it.
it's a bit much. Or you could get all their other games as well for $230.
Hmm.
Um, oh, and Superfan backers for 350. We got
350.
12 backers there.
8 left.
8
Get
left.
out there.
Yeah, this is going for March of 2024.
Okay.
So
I got some time.
yeah, I got some time. It's not like the biggest. I mean, I don't know what's going to take to print or reprint those other games that they have there, but
True.
it's not the most like ambitious game production wise. So
Hmm.
hopefully they'll be able to do it. It looks nice. It's just yeah, I don't know if the parts really go together, but I guess I'm not
Yeah.
the indigenous, so maybe it does really mesh well. I'm not sure. I'm not in that group.
Hmm.
But I am a wizard, so I know all about this. Wizard
Of course
and
you do.
Co. Actually, I'm Co.
You got 26,000 out of 11,000. You got 766 backers, so nearing 1,000 backers. And it's from the designers of Alma Mater, Agizia, and many more games.
Yes. So you have played both Alma Mater and Geezy. I assume that's Shifting Sands. I think you played that one, correct?
I did play Agizia, Shifting Sands. And I
Uh,
like that one quite a bit. Alma
yeah.
Mater, I don't think I played at the best player count, and it's been a long time. Uh, but I remember not liking that one quite as much, at least from the initial play. But like I said, we were playing with 2 players, and I think it probably plays better with 3 or 4. So,
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I guess. Just games like that, sadly. But yeah, this one you are going out to these dungeons. You have different areas. They have treasures there, and I think everyone has an identical, at least start, kind of deck of cards.
mhm.
Then they are placing them onto these locations, and each one has an effect on there. So you go there, you place your cards, then you activate them in clockwise order from, I guess, I don't know where it's determined where it starts. And sometimes that can take out some of the other people there. Like, I think I saw one of them, it's like take out any whatever race card next to it, and that wiped out both of the ones next to it. So the one didn't even get to activate, and the one got killed right after he activated himself. So
Mhm.
I don't know if that's quite our type of game. It might be a little too swingy, a little too take that. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I couldn't really tell. For some reason, it was making me think of Marvel United with the kind of the layout here of what's going on with the cards.
it's
But
the circle. Is very Marvel United.
but yeah, so I thought it looked kind of interesting. But yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like I'd have to look into this one a little bit more to really get a little better feel of it, whether or not
Oh yeah,
it'd be
yeah.
one that I'd back. It's probably one of them that I don't know, out of the options this week, probably one that I'm towards the top of my list of
Oh yeah.
interested in. But yeah, I still don't think that this would be one I would back. Because yeah, I would say I don't know, some of the artwork and stuff and kind of the look of the game is a little blah looking to me. Um,
I like. Yeah, it is. It is kind of. It's not the most colorful, but I do
mhm,
like the style. I believe of the artwork. I guess I haven't looked very close. I like the look of it. I think. But yeah, it is. I guess overall, it doesn't pop too much. I guess you're right about
that's
that.
true.
Uh, does have some nice wooden resources. Looks like wooden resources. Screen printed. Always a win for me.
That's
You can
true.
add on, and you can add on some card
Sleeves.
sleeves, which I like. I think those At least I saw those card backs earlier, so I assume they're the same or pretty close to the same. I don't like when they're very different or almost completely different or, God forbid, blank card sleeve backs.
Oh,
And it's just like, there's really nice artwork on the back of those cards, and I protect
yeah,
them. And it's either not as nice or possibly horrendous. But we don't
possibly
sleep many
horrendous.
games, so
That's true.
not much experience. But
Mhm.
but yeah, so price. Oh my goodness, 13 for like 20 copies right there. What a deal! How are they making money? So $31 for just the game, which is just that pledge. There's no super deluxe, other than you can possibly add on those card sleeves, and shipping would be. I guess what would that be? Where?
That second one.
Oh, yes, right there. So about probably
Another.
$10, 10, $12. Not too bad if you
Eh,
like dungeon crawlers. I think this one seems pretty approachable. Pretty simple. Just play your cards out there.
mhm.
Kind of, I think early on you can just, if you aren't super analysis paralysis, I think you can kind of just throw them out there, see what happens, have fun with it, and kind of learn as you go.
Mhm.
I guess I don't know if I should be, but I'm like, I feel like kids could play this, but I really am in no place to make that recommendation. It's just the feel I
Yeah, I
get
have no
from it.
idea. I have no idea. You see, that's what it looks very much like a kid game to me, but then I see the games they're mentioning
Oh
for those
yeah, that's
designers,
true.
and I'm like, I feel like if that's what you're going for, you wouldn't mention those games because I would not say either of those are for kids.
Oh
So that's what makes me think that maybe it's a little bit more
yeah,
approachable, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure. But
yeah.
yeah, this one, this one I'm kind of interested in a little bit.
And on to the next one, Avant Card. Little play on words there. This is a very simple card game. Another small one, lots of small ones. Like you said, I
It
think
is.
maybe some of those big games are holding out to make announcements at Gen Con, or maybe not. Maybe
Yeah,
it's just the month of small games.
it might be because yeah, it's I mean it's another almost 1,600 backers. Still got 10 days to go, and it's at 41,000. So I mean it's good for these games. I think that some of the bigger ones aren't. I mean, there's not many bigger projects out there. I think it's kind of um, letting people go out and look for some of those. Um,
Yeah, yeah. This, yeah, just a lot of these just keep surprising me, and it's still got 10 days to go.
mhm.
That's pretty crazy. I mean, I like the look of the cover. Just initially, I like the look of the cover. Something different, colorful. Probably
Mhm.
not my favorite art style outside of this game, but
That's
not
true.
something I'd put on my wall. But
Yeah, I think it works. Like you said, it works for that because yeah, I'm not a big fan of that art style either. Yeah, it looked like one of the Kickstarters that this one ran was Phantom Ink or whatever.
oh yeah, ooh, nominated for most innovative game, the Dice Tower Awards.
So maybe we've got that here.
Although, yeah, they will see, they will know, I believe, if it has won. So possibly
By the time this comes out.
winner. I'll just have to dub it in winner of the, and they'll be like, how did he know they filmed this 4 days earlier?
Dominion meets
Dominion,
Quacks with some Uno thrown in.
some Uno. They had it going good there. Then they threw in some Uno. And then we question. It's just really, really, really good. So those are those are from the same thing. So that is just one person saying they like this, but I looked at it and it did feel like a lot of Uno. Uh,
Mhm.
but I would actually throw in some Fox in the Forest there as well, because each of these
Special
cards,
powers.
2 through 7, can have a unique power, and I think they have maybe, what is it, 3 sets of cards, and kind
Mhm.
of mix and match what those are. And I think this game totally depends on what those powers are, how unique they feel, how different they are. You can look. I think you can download and look at all of them and how they work. So if you're interested, if that's going to determine whether you get this, go check that out. I don't know if they have it linked here. I would think they would, but I actually went
Mhm.
onto the Tabletopia page for this, and then they had a link to it. So that's where I found it.
Mhm.
But yeah, it seemed. I mean, also I like this that unfolds and reveals the market of cards. That's pretty cool. I thought it's. I
It
don't know
just
if it's
keeps
gonna.
going.
It just keeps going to infinity and beyond. Hopefully, it lays flat like that. But I mean, we'll see if it's just gonna just try to
If that's
roll
the case.
back up.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so you kind of play cards, and like Uno, you kind of want to match. I think that's how Uno plays. I haven't played in a while. Match the number or the color, and just kind of keep going in a long set. And how many cards you play determines how much money you have to buy cards, and the cards cost their value. But yeah, like four, for instance, with this one is pretty much a wild. Can be any number, can be any color. The
Hmm.
fives get you an extra dollar. And I think based on how many cards you're able to have or how much money you make in the round determines how many points you get as well. So I went through this whole thing. I'm like, wait, how do you get points? I don't even know how you win this game. But
What am I trying to do here?
yeah, it's a pretty simple game, but I I think it's almost winning me over. I'm
Hmm.
not gonna back it probably, but I would definitely play the Sun Tabletopia at least. I think.
Yeah, this could be one we could maybe get after the fact if it's sold
Oh
in
yeah,
retail. And yeah, see it for a deal or something. Yeah, this is probably not one that I would go out and back, but yeah, it seems like one of those that like you said, it's going to depend on how unique those powers are going to be, whether or not it'll feel kind of interesting from game to game. But yeah, this one could potentially be very luck dependent.
yeah, that is
Otherwise,
true.
I,
That's
I
true.
would think as to like if you're getting cards with same colors or same numbers or close. I mean, so
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, I guess if you want to, I guess not don't mean it anyway as an insult. If you want to turn your brain off, then maybe you can play a game like this where it's just like you want that satisfaction, get a good hand, play
mhm,
like your entire hand in one set. I could find that being fun. I don't think. I mean, I love replayability and variability, but sometimes I
mhm.
can enjoy the same thing for the hundredth time just as much as something brand new.
That's true.
Doesn't not
Yeah.
a deal breaker necessarily. So then, yeah, it's $20 for the base game. Otherwise, deluxe, you can get some extra things, even some little metal coins, which probably I don't think you're going to need, but you
Mhm.
can get it, or you can go up to the top. Looks like you
Well,
get
those are all gone, Pepper.
deluxe. Oh, those are all gone. Oh my god, never mind. Never mind. Don't even look at it. Sorry, I brought it up. But
Now
no,
everyone is disappointed.
pretty cheap shipping as well. I guess beg
Mhm.
one of these 10 people for their copy. Tell them
Exactly.
not your average
You'll
tabletop
do
sent you.
anything. Yeah, that's a pretty fair price. And yeah, I
Yeah,
think if you looked into those cards and they seem interesting enough, this could be one of those kind of go-to filler games, possibly, in your
yeah,
collection.
yeah, sure. Another
Or this
small.
one could be.
Oh yes, this one could be. This one could be picky eaters. Well, first off, are you a picky eater?
I am.
You are a picky eater. I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty open. I mean, I hated sauerkraut for the longest time, and then I tried it, and I'm like, okay, it wasn't that bad. And I think ever since then, I've been a little more open-minded.
I thought you were gonna say I tried it and I was right all along. It was terrible.
I should have gone that direction. That's what I was expecting. A whole new person. But yeah, so this is for people like you, Zach. Strategic card game for 2 to 6 players while planning a dinner party for picky guests.
Already at 50,000, another
Oh
thousand
yes,
back to
another
game.
one that's just very successful.
I
My
don't
God,
know. Yeah, these have all seemed like pretty small. Oh, not maybe not all of them, but a lot of them have seemed like very small games, and
yeah,
they're doing pretty well.
yeah, for sure. Aged 8 plus. Yeah, I think this is another simpler one. Straight. I guess not simpler. There's a couple things in there that could that I would still find interesting. I don't think it's just like a children's game, super simple. Even though it is very cute, gives me feels of Sushi Go Party. It's not quite the same art style, but obviously similar subject matter with food. Um, but yeah, I think you kind of reveal a guess. There's 5 rounds. Oh boy, here we go. And you
Making
reveal a
steak and eggs.
reveal a guest each round, and then draft different cards. Get recipes by spending the different ingredient cards. Play some item cards. Just all along the way, each round revealing a new guest, and at the end of the game, you serve the guests and score. I think you can have up to 5 dishes on your menu, and just wherever that dish places on each guest's preference, it will score you a certain amount of points. So if you got spaghetti and that's 2 people's favorite, one of their favorites, that'll get you maybe like 4 points. If someone else is just mediocre, then maybe get you 1 point. And someone absolutely hates it, that could maybe lose you 3 points. So then you only end up with a measly 4 points for that spaghetti. Something like that. So you can add on neoprene mat, 6 neoprene mats as well, if you want, for 1 for each player. Or you can just be selfish and get 1, I guess. Extra copy, but yeah, $29 just for the base game, and I think it's just mostly cards. I believe that's everything that's in the box, which seems like a bit much for 30 bucks. Seems like a bit much just for that. I don't know. And also going to be March 2024, just after we were promised that October one. That seems really far away for such a small game with minimal components, but you don't want to rush it, don't want to hurt the company or anything like that. So if that's what they need, then they should do that. Yeah. By the time that I got down here, I just thought this is a simple game, whatever. Then I saw all of these. I'm like, wait, that's a different icon. That's a different icon. These are all different people. Well, I didn't read everyone, but I assume they are positive comments. And I'm like, is this going to be a super popular game? And I feel like this, it's not going to be Sushi Go Party, but I feel like it could be like maybe a step below that.
It could be. There's a chance. There's a chance. Because yeah, it does seem to be doing well, and I don't know if maybe part of that is maybe they sent a lot of copy or a lot of review copies out. Sent them to maybe some of the bigger ones, bigger names. They obviously missed us, but maybe next time. Picky eaters too.
It's like no
eaters.
No one asked like the popular girl to prom. I mean, they just felt intimidated. They didn't want to go ask Nacho. They're like, oh, they want nothing to do with us. They're so popular. But yeah, so I'm glad. This is my pick for what Kickstarter is made for. This feels the most.
Yeah, I would agree. That's probably right.
Dependent, although a lot of them have had that feel, honestly, this time.
This week, there's been a lot of them.
Yeah. This was the week that Kickstarter was made for. Lots of small projects. And to main event the week of small projects.
We've got the smallest of all. A legendary project. Cyclades Legendary Edition. And you see the name and the lightning there, one of the names. One of our favorites of all time.
Right.
Bruno Catala. And then we've got some other guy too. No, I'm sure. I don't know who Ludovic Malblanc is. Blank.
Malblanc. We are very sorry, but I mean, we're likely only going to reference Bruno. He probably has more games.
He probably just brought Bruno in to finish it off. He did all the work, and he won't get any of the credit. I know what it's like.
About Bruno.
But yeah, this one's doing pretty well. 906,000. I feel like I've heard of Cyclades talked about a lot more though, so I'm kind of surprised that it's not even a little bit more. But I guess it's 7,400 backers, so that is quite a bit. But it's also been I think initially it was a 40-day project, so That's why it just feels to me like it should be even bigger than it is.
That's true. You would think it
Maybe been
could
a
hit a
slow
new.
burn though. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, it is pretty popular. I've known of it for a while. Obviously, Bruno Catala. Once we just really started to like his games, and I'm like, what is this? This is like big game, or seems like a big game. It feels like something like Blood Rage or something like that. I don't think it plays exactly like that.
Mhm.
Uh, but yeah, it just felt like one of those big games from one of our favorite designers. But I think there was some bidding in it or something that made me think it probably wasn't the best at 2 players. And
Mhm.
it says 2 to 6 players, team mode for 4 and 6 players. This is not just, I think they talk like it's not just a reprint or fancy version, that they kind of implement some of the expansion stuff into this game and I assume improve. I think I mentioned improving 2 player count as well. Although I did see that, I believe I checked the rule book and it looks like you do still have to play 2 factions. Each person has to, which I don't know. I like it so much more when you just play the game regular at 2 players. When you have to start adjusting things, whether it's throwing in an AI or playing multiple things, I just feel like it loses something, or at least I worry that I'm missing out on something.
Hmm. I agree. It's just a shame. If only Bruno could learn how to do 2-player games.
Oh, his weak spot.
Which,
So
yeah, it does make it kind of surprising that, yeah, that it wouldn't have a better 2-player mode. I guess I
it
haven't
might be
really looked
great.
at
Might
what
be great.
people say. Yeah, maybe people that have played it 2-player think that it's fine. But yeah, like you said, I would prefer playing it just how it was kind of made to be played and not necessarily adjusted. But to be fair, in 5 tribes, you use two of the
That's true.
pawn things to bid instead of
That
just
is
one.
true. That is true. Although that I say that was the
Although it's pretty
original way of
minimal.
playing.
It's true. In that case, learn how to make a 3 to 4 player game of 5 tribes, Bruno.
I like the look of this game. I like the look of these. They say you can just kind of make up the board however you want. Those are crazy shaped tiles, so I'm interested in how that actually works, or if you're just spending 40 minutes trying to even get the pieces to match up to create a board. Um, Hopefully, it's figured out.
They didn't. They didn't test it out. They just cut random shapes.
Um,
That's what Bruno designed in this game. He just took pieces of paper and cut them
just
into random shapes.
That's what he does. You got those papers for me, Bruno? Those tiles? He just hands them
Slams them
over,
down.
and they stamp his name on the game. Yeah, I think the auction, it kind of reminds me of, I guess, just a bumping auction. So similar to Amon Ray. You played that? I was like, oh yeah, that's another Bruno, but no, that is the Doctor Reiner Knizia who made that game. But gonna bid on these locations, which will have corresponding actions put to them. And if you're outbid, you got to go somewhere else, and maybe you outbid someone else at that location. They got to go find a new place. And I just don't think that that's as interesting at 2 players, because you just gotta, if you don't want the same spot, that. So I
Right.
guess that's why you have to control 4, but then it just becomes
Mm-hmm.
too much, I think, to manage or know what you even want.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so you can get a Meeples version, you can get a miniatures version,
For $2.
$2. Yes, or you can get a ultimate pledge as well, which I think has miniatures for the buildings. Pretty cool miniatures. There's
Mm-hmm.
so many great miniatures nowadays. Oh boy, those are nice. Nice little
Those
token.
are nice.
Nice colored, pre-colored.
You better do a double check, Pepper, to see if this is great at 2 players.
It might be. It might be. I'm willing to play 8 factions to play this game. With these, I don't know. I mean, the building, it's great miniature, but with the ground being the same color as the structure, I think you do lose a little bit. So it's just going to look like a big red chunk out on the map versus what you would get here with a tile, which would be
Mm-hmm.
obviously the structure being the only red part popping out of that map.
Right.
So Especially, what is this going to be? Is this going to be Bunny Kingdom? Is this going to look
Yes, it is Bunny Kingdom.
Easter? My
Brought
goodness.
in Garfield to do some stuff here.
Yes. Although I do really like these ones. These ones look amazing.
Looks pretty good. Why is that one like that? And the rest of them are just one color.
I don't know. This is the Metropoli. That's how I pronounce it. Yeah, that's really cool. I just want to use that in other games. And then you can go down to the. I feel like
chump.
Yeah, you can go do this version. I like to put that last, so you saw all this good stuff first, and now you're disappointed. But you get all this artwork of these characters on these standees in this meeple version, which is pretty good artwork throughout. Get those very flat creatures. They don't even stand these up, like to just have the image. They have a 3D view of them flat on the ground, so you're just can't even see them. Factions, but I do like the meeples. I like the player colors, first of all. And it's a nice little column, nice tokens, cardboard tokens, but I do really like the meeples and ships. Do wish that they were more unique shapes, like for each faction, but there are a lot. But they are cool as they are. Don't like black as a player color, blends in with our black rug on our top, and even when it's not on the rug, it's still somehow so hard to see. I don't know what it is. Never used it.
You know.
But
100 metal coins.
Those look amazing.
Those are pretty cool coins.
I'm tempted. I mean, I've always been interested.
Those don't even come with the one.
No, they do not. I don't think so. Miniatures pledge is going to be about 110. Meeples is 65, and the ultimate pledge is 132, and that includes legendary 3D buildings and more. I don't know what that is. Where is that version? No, I don't think they are included there.
Wow.
Wow. Couldn't even
taking us for everything we're worth.
I'm going to be another
30
40
euros.
bucks. Oh boy. And you can add on North Guard. Another one that I'm kind of interested in because it looks like
Very
a nice
limited
production.
quantity. That one did look interesting to me. But yeah.
Probably not. I think I can a little more grown up as a gamer now. Back a few years ago, I probably would have maybe backed this, but I mean, it's Bruno. It's a big, beautiful game, and a lot of people
the Bruno
like it.
Catala really calls me still, but yeah, I don't know. I know, kind of like Amon Ray. I mean, it does look like that is what it's similar to, and I know a couple of people that we do game with, Michaela and Abby, didn't really seem to like that type of bidding in that one, so it's probably not for us. But it sucks because
Did they like it in Pan Am though?
now I don't remember.
I feel like they were nicer to that one. And it's the same thing, pretty much.
That's true. Dog Park is similar.
Oh yeah,
as well, a little bit.
Hypocrites.
They just don't like Egypt theme, or they don't like the Good Doctor for some reason. But yeah, this one, it looks pretty good. I think if this is a game that you've tried before and you know you like, I think this is probably a good time to get in with whichever version you want. You can just get the Meeples version, and it should still be pretty good. Otherwise, you can keep deluxifying all you want and spend as much money as you can.
Yeah. So 566 have done the meeples, 541 have done the miniatures, and 5,062 have gone with the ultimate pledge. There's no hope.
That's crazy to me.
We just go bigger. We go bigger, and we just keep buying it. At least
that's crazy.
I don't know. But I mean, so many.
Because all that comes with on top of the other miniatures version is just those buildings.
I believe so. I think so. But now we're finally getting into some gameplay.
Which, I mean, they look fine, but I mean, I suppose you're already 100 deep in it. What's another 30?
Yeah.
That's probably what.
I mean, Yeah, I
They put it
wonder
like
if
just within like
they
the
know
might
what
as well
they're
just
doing.
go on.
They know what they're doing. My gosh.
They do know what they're doing.
I do wonder how many of those are new to
I
the
feel
game.
like if it was 150-ish US
Oh
dollars, I
yeah,
don't think people would
then
have
it would
gone
be.
up from the other one
Yeah, I think there'd
as
be
much. Maybe they
a
would
few
have.
that would.
Maybe it's that popular.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, we'll be passing. We'll maybe have to play it on Tabletopia now that I did finally make a new account. Unless that's illegal to have multiple accounts, and I did not make a new account. That was a different pepper. Um, Finally got back on that, so we might have to try this.
Ooh.
5 different factions apiece. But shipping is looking to be a little more expensive. It's the biggest game, biggest project. It's going to be a little heavier, a little more expensive.
Looks like it's gonna be $30 to $40.
Nah,
Maybe more, depending on what you're doing. Getting
could be much more. Could be
50.
much more. Oh, goodness.
Could be much more, but that's still pretty cheap. I mean, or pretty cheap, pretty steep.
Still pretty cheap. Still pretty cheap. 120.
Steep when it's when you're looking at what you're paying for the game, kind of
Yeah.
goes up. But I know there's some areas that
Yeah.
experience that all the time where they're paying 2x what the game costs just to ship it, which
Yeah, that's crazy.
is tough. But
We are fortunate to not have any experiences like that. Oh yeah, and also this is December 2024.
it's a bit of a ways out. I'm
That is
guessing
a
this
long
one will have a late back option.
Yes, for sure. So you have some time to look
Out of all of these projects, I would think that this would probably be the one most likely to have a late back option.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that's all the projects for this week. Luckily, I think I'm gonna be keeping my money in my wallet this week. Well, till I get to Gen Con, and we'll have to see.
He's saving up.
Might go right out the window.
Taking a U-Haul, right? So
Exactly.
bring
3
that
of them.
back. Bring back about $40,000 worth of games.
Well, that might be tough, but I don't know. Hopefully they take credit, and hopefully I can get a loan from someone to get $40,000 of games. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's it for this week. Definitely let us know in the comments below what you're most excited about if you're going to Gen Con, what you're maybe excited about there. But otherwise,
Give
we
him
hope
some
to see.
tips.
Yeah, give me some tips, first timer. But otherwise, we hope to see you on the next one. And as always, don't forget to keep on nibbling on our content.